Now then guys, how you doing? Welcome back to another rebuild. As today we take on Palermo. Now, a team that's finished third place, I believe, with 63 points in a 2018-2019 in Serie B and got relegated due to financial irregularities. So yeah, we're taking on a team that is full of scandal. Absolutely love it. Italian football's full of scandal anyway, let's be honest. But we're down in Serie C, like I say, lower league this time round. It was voted for by yourselves. I put a list of teams up in my YouTube community chat, and this is the team that you chose. But for those of you that chose that Brazilian team, Palmeiras, if that's how you pronounce it, they are coming up in the next rebuild. So it was a two-horse race. You know, it was 30% more or less each. So yes, both teams will be getting rebuild, but we're starting with the one that won, Palermo, first. So if you are new to the channel, please like and subscribe. It would mean a lot, as this channel is starting to pick up some traction again, as we are cruising along to 1,500 subscribers. And if you are a regular supporter, thank you very much. But let's get into this scandalous rebuild. Right then guys, so here we go, day one in charge of Palermo. Now like I say, down in Serie C, not having a good time here, and it's a difficult league to get out of. First of all, I just want to have a look at the rules, as only one team gets promoted, obviously the winner going up, but then the rest of the teams from 10th up go into the playoffs. Now obviously if we get a second place finish, we join the playoffs at the quarterfinal stage, and so on the further down the table we are. But if we don't get out of this league in the first go, this is going to be similar to Deportivo, where we just need to get out of this league on the first attempt. There's obviously some decent teams down there as well. When we look at the season preview, we're actually expected a 4th place finish, 9-2. Barry are definitely the favourites, so at 1-10 to go up. So there you go, the pressure is on me already to get promoted. When we look at the club info though, and we look at the history and the overview, it's not been good for them. Like I say, relegated in 2018-19, actually got promoted from Serie D, so they actually went down a couple of leagues. I thought they went down to the Serie C, and when they were promoted, they ended up with a 7th place finish last season, so we have got it all to do. Looking at the finances then, what have they given me to work with? So overall balance is £1 million, transfer budget 247k, when I'm getting 100% of transfer revenue. I'm happy with that, if I'm honest. I didn't think we'd have got anything. And wage budget is 39,000, and we are spending that in its entirety. No net debt, no transfer debt. Let's see how long it is before I absolutely ruin that, as in other rebuilds, you know. If we've got money, I will be spending it. So looking at my squad then, it looks like we've got a decent squad depth with some decent ability and potential. Who is the best player at the club at the moment? So Giuseppe Fella. Right, somebody that's on loan for Salernitana. But he can play up front and behind the striker. Tactically, I think we'll probably play with the one up top and the guy behind the striker anyway. So we may see a lot of Fella this season. Who's the eye sterner at the club? So Brunori, another player that we've got on loan from Juve, is currently getting £3,900 a week. That is a lot of money. And transfer value wise, Bottaro, an 18-year-old Italian, is currently valued up to £500,000. That'd be decent money if we can get it in. Where did we get him from? We got him on a free transfer this season, actually, from Roma. Tactically then, like I say, I'm probably going to set up with a 4-2-3-1, playing a tick-attacker on an attacker mentality. I may change to tick-attacker and we may go Gegenpress. I'm not quite sure yet. The first season, though, like I say, I can't afford to make any mistakes, so we're going to have to push early doors. Dynamics-wise then, team cohesion is very poor. Club atmosphere is good. Maggio support is good. Top influences, how many players support us? 6 players, that's good. To say I've just walked into the club, and 18 players have no real opinion of us. The Rosa is the club captain. Let's have a look at him. 34-year-old now. Has he been with us a while? He's been with us a couple of seasons, played 17 games last season. He gets about. And then finally, what about the development centre though? So when we look at the under-20s, apparently it's an average squad. Aziz Kedatore is the best player in the under-20s, and he's out on loan at Napoli, and he's not very good at all. Right, okay. So we've got a lot of work to do then. We'll just finally have a look at the squad depth. Where do I need to improve? We need to improve behind the striker, as Fella is the only player who can play in that attacker midfielder role. Fella can play across the board there. He's the best in basically all 4 of those positions. Midfield-wise, it looks like we've got plenty of options there. At the back, I actually haven't got a 4-star player at the moment at a centre-back option. And goalkeeper-wise, Palagotti is the best goalkeeper at the club, and he's not bad for this level. Some of these transfer values have varied up to 7k, so we've got a lot of work to do, but I am confident. You know, we've got some money to spend, but as you've seen in other rebuilds, you know, I may not spend it wisely. Alright then guys, so we're back. Now we had a bit of money to play with, and I've just shoved it all into wages. As the team that we've got is pretty decent. I've got rid of a couple of old players. I've moved them on. I've moved on a player that was apparently a massive prospect for us. Played a few games over the last couple of seasons. And I've brought in an exceptionally old player as well. So A little bit of a mix. I wanted to bring in a bit of youth and experience, and in fairness, I think I've done that in this transfer window. So first of all, we have a look at the finances. I've got nothing left in the transfer budget. I've got 43k in the wage budget, and I'm currently 3k under that. Overall balance is 1.2 million. Debt and loans, nothing. So players leaving then, we let go of Manuel Peretti, 21-year-old Italian who's been with us for a couple of seasons. A little bit of an uproar here as apparently he was a talent and I've let him go. However, 4k, I didn't think he was going to feature for us long term, so I've let him go. And then Roberto Floriano, a player again who's been with us a couple of seasons, has gone off to Medina for 2k. Currently 35-year-old, so I've just moved him on. So coming in then, the first player through the door was Hakim Mastor, a Moroccan with 1 cap, 23-year-old, and we got him on a free. He was at Capi last season where he played 10 times, scored 1 goal, also in the Serie C. Milan took him on for 400k at one point, and then, yeah, he's not done too bad, but he's a really good player. Flair 18, technique 17. This guy could be a player that could unlock the door, can play in the free behind the striker and also up front, finishing 6 though, and composure 6, not ideal. But when we look at him out, on that left-hand side, acceleration and pace both 13, crossing 12, dribbling 15, first touch 14. And like I said, that flair and technique, he'll do the business for us this season, I am sure. Then I brought in another goalkeeping option, Matteo Valentini, so 23-year-old Italian. Plays as the sweeper keeper, and that's what I'm going for this season. Current ability 2.5 star. Potential ability 3.5 star. That passing 16 is one of the reasons that I've brought him in, and we got him on a free transfer. He was in Serie C last season with Palermo, where he only played 1 time. He was obviously a second string goalkeeper. However, this guy's coming in and he's going to be my first choice. And then the last player through the door was the 34-year-old Finnish international Roman Eremenko. Now, he's got a national reputation. He's a veteran midfielder who can basically play everywhere. Look at the state of that for versatility. Really good all-rounded. Yes, he's 34-year-old. I've only got him for this season as well, and I'm spending the money on him. £1,800 per week on wages. Current ability, obviously, 3.5 star, and he's playing to his full potential. We got him on a free transfer. He was playing in the Russian Premier League last season with Rostov, where he played 16 times and scored 1 goal. I think this guy, quality player, and he's going to play as a deep line playmaker. Tactically then, when you look at it, we are going to play that 4-2-3-1. And this is how we're going to line up with Valentini in goal, Giron, Perotta, Lanzini and Almiki out on that right hand side with De Rose and Eremenko in the middle. Valenti, Fella and Silippo out wide with Brenori up front. We're going to play an attacker mentality as well, as when we look at the club vision, they want us to play attacking football, so that's what we're going for. This season though, their expectation is we reach the playoffs as a minimum, and the Coppa Italia Serie C isn't important. Obviously, we've got the cup competition as well, but by the end of next season, we need to have 1 promotion to Serie B. My contract expires at the end of next season as well, so it could get a bit dicey if I don't. With all the changes then, how's the dynamics looking? Not a lot has changed in fairness. Team cohesion is still extremely poor. Top influencers wise, has anything changed there? I've got 12 players that now support us, 12 players that have no real opinion of us, but I've got no players that oppose us, and I've still only got 1 team leader. And then competitions-wise, then obviously we've got Serie C and the Coppa Italia Serie C as well. So looking at the expectation then for this season, we've already had a look at it, but we're now expecting a 3rd place finish, 4-1. I have got some players in the Media Dream 11, which is good. Almisi and Odja in the middle there as well. So I've got 2 players in that Media Dream 11. It is absolutely stacked with Barry players as well, which is to be expected, as they are obviously the favourites to win the league. So that's it then, guys. Quite a quick update at the start of Season 1, as I haven't really done too much. It's all about us getting promoted. So let's have a look at the schedule then for this season. So we start off with a game against Juve Stabia, Andrea, Avellino, Potenza and Foggia as my first 5 games. We also take on Gubbio in the Serie C Cup. But, you know, we've had a decent pre-season. Yes, we've been absolutely smashed there. But we held our own against Fiorentina. We smashed Medina 6-2. They're also in the Serie C. But yeah, that game there against Fiorentina, Vlahovic was playing. They were basically playing their first string team. And we ended up going 3-2. We were actually 3-0 down. We scored 2 goals in the second half. We had 13 shots, 7 on target. So my expectation this season is we're going to score plenty of goals. We're also going to concede plenty of them as well. So, fingers crossed, touch wood, by the end of this season, we're back into the Serie B. Right, so Season 1's down, and as expected, we've been promoted. We've made a harder job than we should have done as Foggia. They got promoted with 86 points. We finished on 83. As you can see there, we ended up winning 3-1 in the playoff final. Silippo with 2 goals and Fella with a goal in 86. It was 0-0 at half-time. They had 5 shots, 1 on target, got the goal, but we had 12 and 7, absolutely battered them, 58% possession. We deserved winners, and we get ourselves out of Serie C, and we'll be playing in the Serie B next season. But when we have a look at this league table overall, played 38 games, won 25, drew 8, lost 5, 79 goals scored. That is comfortably the best in the league. I think the second highest there is Barry with 67. 31 goals conceded as well, which is solid. Foggier conceding 24. But Catanzaro, the team that we played in the final, only conceded 21 goals all season. We had a goal difference of plus 48, 83 points on the board. We had a similar form in the last 5 games to Foggier. We won 3, drew 2. Theirs was similar, but they won their last 3 games where we drew our last one. Past positions wise then, we were in top spot for a couple of games, but on match day 22 we won 2-0 against Avellino, but then we draw 2-2 with Potenza, and then yeah, it went a bit petong from there, but we ended up finishing in second place. Foggier though, moving up into top spot and sat there for a third of the season anyway, so decent monopoly there as well. What a team that is. But yeah, regardless of the teams in there, we end up getting promoted, so that is job done. First of all, when we look at the competitions wise then, we actually won the Coppa Italia Serie C one as well. What happened there? We ended up winning 4-2 on aggregate against Reggiana. Let's just have a look at that. Brunori with a hat-trick there. This guy, you know, I didn't rate him, but he's done a decent job for us. How did he get on? 32 goals in 42 appearances, 38 across all competitions. So we end up getting another bit of silverware, which is fantastic. So a promotion and a cup win as well. So cracking first season. That surely, you know, we couldn't have asked for any more than that. Yes, I'd have liked to have won the league, but we have been promoted. Finances wise then, I've got 284k to spend in the next transfer budget. This is where we get unstuck now, as moving into the Serie B. We'll obviously have a look at the teams after the break, but there's some big teams in Serie B, and having 284k to play with is not going to do us any favours at all, let's be honest. Wage budget wise though, we've got 68k, and we're currently spending £40,000, which is decent. Overall balance though, minus 442k, and net debt is that 442k as well, so not ideal. Squad dynamics and team cohesion and club atmosphere is very good. My support is excellent. I've got players that want new deals. We'll sort that out over the summer. And then when we look at the hierarchy then, I've got 21 players supporters, 3 players that have no real opinion of us. I've got plenty of highly influential players now, but only 1 team leader still after a full season. Squad wise then, before we look at the player and team stats, let's have a look at our top goal scorer this season. So Baroni, like I say, Fellow was a player that I pointed out at the start of the episode. He ended up getting 19 goals this season in the league as well, 21 in all competitions. And assists wise, Almisi got 15 assists this season. A lot of these players' contracts will expire at the end of the season as well, so we're about to lose a lot of players. When you look there, all the way down, so basically 2/3 of our team may disappear over the next month, so I really need to look at sorting out those contracts and keeping some of these players with us. So player stats wise, like I say, Brunori was the top goal scorer. Let's see how he got on in comparison to the rest of the players in the league. So he was joint top goal scorer with 24 with Polidori, and we can see Fella in there with 18 as well. So not bad. Joint top goal scorer and joint 4th top goal scorer as well. Highest average rating was Silaport with a 7.25. Most assists was Almisi with 15. Best pass completion was Lanzini with 97%. Most player of the match awards was Brunori with 11. Most yellow cards was Marconi with 20. Most red cards was Odja, Sommer and Perotta with 1 apiece. What about team stats then? So team stats wise, we scored 79 goals, which is the best. We conceded 31, which is the 5th best. Yellow cards wise, 111, which is the worst. And 2 red cards, which is the 8th worst. Average attendance wise, just under 10,000, which is the 3rd best in the league. So there we go then, guys. Part 1 of this mission has been completed, but next season, you know, it's all going to be about battling against relegation. A mid-table finish would be an absolute success. So let's get in to rebuilding this squad over the next summer, where I haven't got a lot of money to play with, so I'm going to have to dip my toe into the free transfer market. Right, so season transfer window is done, and what a shambles. That's all I've got to say on it. Absolute shambles, this one. As finances wise, I've got nothing left in the transfer budget. I'm spending over the wage budget, and I've had to increase that wage budget to £72,000, and I'm still spending over it. I have been stung by the wage increases due to promotion, and yeah, it's caused me all kinds of issues. When we look at the transfers, I've had 1 player leave us, Alberto Pelagotti, my goalkeeper for last season, didn't actually play a game for us at all, and he has gone on a free transfer to Ancona. But yeah, we are not in a great place. As you can see here, we'll go through the transfers in. Again, I've spent no money at all. So the first player through the door was Pablo Rey, 24-year-old left-back from Spain, who's got decent attributes: pace and acceleration, 16 and 15, natural fitness 16 as well, determination 18, 24-year-old, free transfer from Viviero, where he was playing in some non-league team last season, 34 games he played, 2 goals, 2 assists. Then I brought in Emmanuel Ferrari, On a free transfer again, currently coming in as a star player. Current ability 4.5 star, potential ability 5 star. Decent player, this guy, all-rounded. Can play behind the striker or in the midfield. And I got him in for a free transfer from Borussia Dortmund's second team, where he played 35 times, scored 8, assisted 8, and 4 player of the match performances. Decent player, this one. Then I brought in Paul Georges Natep. Can play out on the left and right hand side, predominantly that left-sided attacker midfielder. Wants to play as an inside forward, which is exactly what I'm after. Acceleration and pace, both 13. That finishing 12 helps me out as well, with 16 flair. Playing to his full potential, which is 3.5 star. And we got him in a free transfer from Boa Vista, where he played 12 times in the Portuguese Premier League last season. Then I brought in another goalkeeper, so Ludovico Gelmi, 21-year-old Italian with a balanced personality. Aerial reach 16, he's currently 6'4", so on the tall side, which is good for us. Current ability 2.5 star, potential ability 4.5 star, and I got him on a free transfer from Atalanta, where he was out on loan last season at Ferral Pizzarro, where he played 16 times, conceded 7 goals, 6 clean sheets, and 3 player of the match performances, so not bad. It'd be interesting to see if this guy becomes our number 1. He's not at the minute, but with those attributes, you may see him play a few more games this season and then be established next season. Then I've brought in a 19-year-old Bulgarian, Dimo Krastev. We've won CAF for Bulgaria already as well. Current ability 2.5 star, potential ability 5 star. Plays in that defensive anchor role, but I'm going to play him in the midfield. Marking 11, tackling 12. You know, he's an all-rounded player. Early is very good. And we got him on a free transfer from Fiorentina. He hasn't actually played a game yet, but a very good player. I had him in my FM21 rebuild with Fiorentina, and this guy turns out to be a quality player. Maybe not on the FM22 cycle, but on a free transfer, let's give him a go. And then I've got all kinds of issues up front. I haven't actually got an out-and-out striker this season, so I've brought in Luis Motta on loan from Portugal, and I've had to pay 5k to get him there. Now, I've brought him in from Belenenses, I think that's how you pronounce that team, where he actually played 10 times in the Premier League for them last season. He's already played 1 game in the Cup for us and scored 2 goals, so he does look decent. You know, that finishing 13, composure 13 as well. He's got fairly decent acceleration and pace. Obviously, physically he's strong, and he's been capped at under 19 level for Portugal. Now, I am pinning all my hopes on this guy. He's my only designated striker, and even then, you know, he's not an out-and-out striker, so potential ability 5 star, let's give him a go. And he's currently valued to £1 million. There's no deal for me to buy him at the end of the season, but we'll see what we can do with it if he performs for us and helps us out of trouble. So tactically then, after bringing those players in, we're still going to play the 4-2-3-1 with Gelmi in goal, Ray, Marconi, Sommer and Amici at the back, with Luperini and Bro in the middle, Natep, Farai and Silepo out wide, and Motta up front. That is it. We're going to play the tick-attacker again on attacking. That may be my undoing. We'll see how we get on to the end of September. And if not, I'll change us to a cautious mentality and then just simulate for the rest of the season. So there you go. That is that. Competitions-wise, though, we've got the Serie B and the Coppa Italia this time round. Obviously, in the full Coppa Italia, where we take on Sampdoria in the first round. And in the Serie B, what is the expectation for this season? So season preview-wise, we're expecting an 18th place finish, which will get us relegated. So we need a mid-table finish realistically. Anything from 10th to 17th I will be happy with, as long as we're not looking over our shoulder too much. We need some success. Like finances-wise next season, we're only getting 142k, as you can see there. That's the minimum guaranteed anyway, so we've got a lot of work to do. And when we look at the schedule, because I am really worried about it, you can see pre-season, absolutely fantastic. But we start off with games in the league against Perugia, Brescia, Cittadella, Frosinone and Spal. You know, I don't know too much about these teams. They're obviously a lot better placed than we are, so we are going to need to hit the ground running. However, you know, it may be damage limitation in those first 5 games. So yes, what we're going to try and do is try and survive this season, battle bravely against relegation, and hopefully we are still in Serie B by the end of it. So I'm still in a job and season 2 is over, and as you can see, we've just escaped the relegation playoff places with a 15th place finish. Now, I'm happy with that. I would have taken a relegation playoff place if I'm honest, but as you can see there, 38 games played, 12 wins, 10 draws, 16 defeats, 58 goals scored. Looks good in comparison to everyone else, but 57 conceded is a bit of a shocker. +1 goal difference, 46 points on the boards. You know, another win there and we'd have been up into mid-table, a 10th, 11th place finish, which isn't a bad place to be. We've survived for a season. This rebuild, though, is going to be extremely difficult with 3 seasons left. I'm starting to think now getting into Serie A probably isn't going to happen. We'll have a look at the finances shortly, but looking at the past positions then, as you can see there, we haven't reached any higher than 10th place, and that was on match day 6, and we've basically sat down in 15th place from match day 33. So yeah, we've had an absolute shocker there. Or have we? You know, like I say, beating the drop, that's the main thing. So we've probably performed out of our skin. We certainly have in comparison to those start season expectations anyway. So competitions-wise, then we were knocked out in the first round of the Coppa Italia by Sampdoria. And yes, a 15th place finish in the league. Finances-wise then, like, we have got absolutely nothing to play with. Transfer budget, 142k for this coming season, with 15% of transfer revenue being made available. Now, what's the point of me selling any players? You know, I can bring free transfers in, but then even wage budget. I've got 75k. I'll tell you what we'll do now. We might as well just make this adjustment. I've got no money to spend. Everything's going into wages. I've got an extra £4,000 to spend on wages, which is going to give me one player. So we are in trouble. I've got to do it all over again with the same players that I've got. Debt and loan-wise, £1.6 million in debt. That's the overall balance there. I am not hopeful about this. When we look at the squad and players that are leaving, then, you know, I've got plenty of players again that are leaving or could be leaving at the end of this season. Who's my highest transfer valued player now? Perai, who we've just brought in this season, currently valued at 3.3 million. What's the point though? I sell him on, I get no money back for him, so there's just no incentive for me to sell the guy. So squad-wise, I'm probably just going to be stuck with the same squad this season whilst trying to get ourselves into a top half finish. You know, maybe at the end of season 5 we push it to Serie A, but it's very unlikely that we're going to do it again. Squad dynamics-wise, how's everybody feeling? Good across the board, really. My dual support is excellent though. Loving me beer here, which is good. Top influencers-wise, then I've got 19 players as supporters, 3 players that have no real opinion, no players opposers. And then looking at player stats, Lewis Motta, the guy that I brought in and I pinned my hopes on, scored was had 31 goals this season, 29 in the Serie B. How did he compare to everyone else? He may well have been the top goal scorer in the league. And he was as well, 29 goals. That is 10 clear of Terminello, who is at Cittadella. This guy, he's not good, is he? Let's be honest. I think sometimes you've just got to look past the actual attributes. Because people say don't believe the stars, and I believe in the stars. You know, I buy a player based on that rating and what attributes fit. But 13 finishing and composure shouldn't result in this guy getting 29 goals in 38 appearances in the league. But that's 5k well spent nonetheless. And then when we're back to those player stats, he also got the highest average rating at 7.13. Most assists was Amici, Ferrer and Georges, and then Tep with 6 apiece. Best pass completion was Sommer with 96%. Most player of the match awards was Motta with 8. Most yellow cards was Marconi and Ray with 14 apiece. And most red cards was Odja with 2. And then team stats, we scored 58 goals, which is the 4th best. So we can score the goals, that's not a problem. We just need to sort ourselves out defensively. Goals conceded though, 57, which is the 4th worst. Yellow cards, 111, which is the worst. Red cards, 6, which is the 2nd worst. And our average attendance was the 5th best in the league, actually. Just under 11,000. So I've got my work cut out again. I don't really know what I'm going to do this time round. There's not a lot I can do. I've got £4,000 to spend in wages, which is literally one more player. And not a very good player, as a lot of our players now are paid 5+ grand. And I can't really sell any players because I get no revenue back. So yeah, I've got a big task this summer. Right then guys, the season's about to start. What do we do? You know, what a state this club is in at the minute. You know, I don't even think I've done anything wrong in respects to, you know, we got promoted. Financially, we're in a decent place. We're just not getting any money pumped back into the club. And I'm just having to make do with free transfers. I think I've bought somebody that cost like 25k. That's the best I've been able to do this transfer window. When we look at the finances, I've got 1,990 quid left in the bank. Just for crack. I might even just stick it in. That's made absolutely no difference. But wage budget wise, I've been given just under 83k. And I'm currently spending 85.5k. So not great there neither. Overall balance, 6.6 million. Debt and loans, basically nothing. 200k transfer debt. And transfer history wise, you can see here. So we've had a 3.2 million sale of Emmanuel Ferrai. He has gone off to Udinese, 3.2 million, like I say. Got him on a free transfer last season from Borussia Dortmund. He played 35 times for us, 3 goals, 6 assists. This guy was comfortably the best player at the club, and when the offer come in, it was accepted. And getting 10% of that revenue, which is what I'm now getting, 10%, I got 320k, which I just pumped back into wages again. Dimo Krastev, a player that I thought was going to have big things for us, also moved on. His release clause was met to 525k. He played 3 times for us last season, and Sampdoria took him on. And then finally, Francesco De Rose has been with us quite a while now. He was 3 seasons with us, played 10 games last season. He was cracking on a bit. He was getting paid £4,000 a week, 36-year-old. And he has gone off to Fiorenzuola. That's a mouthful, but yeah, he's gone off to them anyway. So coming in then, the first player through the door was Usman Simbakoli, now 22-year-old Frenchman, who plays as a striker, and we got him on a free transfer from Lille. He actually played 13 times a couple of seasons ago in Ligue 1, scored 1 goal. And for me, a decent player, acceleration and pace 13-14, dribble and finish and first touch 14 apiece. I'm expecting goals from this guy. Don't ask him to do anything aerially. We jump and reach 7, head and 8, but get the ball on the ground and get him to run with it. I think he'll get us some goals. Then I brought in 26-year-old Portuguese, Andre Zeno. What a name that is. Currently valued up to 220k. Current ability 3.5 star, potential ability 4 star. Can play behind the striker, but I want him playing out wide. Acceleration and pace, decent again at 14 and 13. Crossing and dribbling 14 as well. We got him for 24k from Moreirense in Portugal, where he played 2 times last season. He has been playing in their lower leagues, but again, you know, he's a decent player for us. He's not going to set the world alight, but nobody that we bring in on a free transfer really is. So yeah, a guy that's versatile, Andre Zeno. Then I brought in another striker, the 23-year-old Brazilian, Rodrigo Farofa. Now, we got him on a free transfer from Castilla, so he's been at Real Madrid's reserves. He played 36 times, 15 goals last season, and I'm hoping he can do the business for us, as we need somebody who's not on loan for us that we lose at the end of every season. Now, our top goal scorers over the last 2 seasons have been players that have been on loan to us, and when they've left, I've had no replacement really, and I've had to go out into that loan market again, which I haven't done this season. I just can't. I need to bring players in that are going to stay with us permanently. So he's currently valued at 425k, current ability 4 star, playing to his full potential, finishing 14, composure 13, pace and acceleration decent as well. Like, fingers crossed, I am pinning everything on this guy again. And finally, I've brought in another Brazilian, 22-year-old Kike Roca, centre-back. That is a head and mark and tackling all decent, strength could be a bit better, acceleration and pace, okay. Current ability 3.5 star, potential ability 4.5 star. When you look at him there though, he's got speed and he's aerially strong, that is it. Nothing else, you know. Don't ask him to be technical or vision. Physically, he's not really there. And I got him on a free transfer. He was playing at International last season in Brazil, you know, in their top tier. 7 games, 3 goals. He could be decent, but another free transfer. You've just got to sometimes pick the best of a bad bunch. I'm sure I'm being massively enthusiastic about these players that I'm bringing in, but I don't know anything about them. I've got no idea. I'm going solely off scout reports, and I'm just praying that they're decent enough to get us into a mid-table finish. You know, when we look here, ability and potential-wise, we've got a fairly decent squad, I would say, on paper. When we look at squad depth, I don't really know what's going on. The squad depth's not there. All right in midfield. We're okay attacking-wise. At the back, not so great. And goalkeeper-wise is a position I've never really been able to sort out yet. This has been, I would say this has probably been my most difficult rebuild, for the fact that I'm just not getting a break. Genuinely not being given a break. Finances wise is absolutely crippling, as like I say, and I've just got to work within my means. Competitions wise then, we've got Serie B and the Coppa Italia. What's the expectations in the Serie B for us this season then? So season preview, we're expecting an 18th place finish, not ideal again, so they're expecting us to get relegated. We've got no players in the Media Dream 11, and Venezia are the team expected to win the league, so there we go. And schedule-wise, then we start off with a game against Sampdoria again in the Coppa Italia, but then we have Vicenza, Ascoli, Alessandria, Regina and Medina as the teams that we take on the first 5 games. Who knows? You know, we had a fairly decent pre-season as we were starting to strengthen the squad, but, you know, again, yeah, I'm doing a lot of this. I'm doing a lot of huffing and puffing. We'll just see what happens. Let's simulate forward to the end of season 3 and see if we remain in Serie B. Right guys, so we're back and the most ridiculous thing has now happened as we finish in 4th place. We've got a playoff final against Spezia. Now, I don't know if this is good or bad, you know, we've performed above expectations, we completely have. However, if we get promoted here, and I'm just going to simulate through the home and away leg, obviously it's across 2 ties here. If we get promoted, how are we going to survive in Serie A? We can barely survive. Yes, we finished the 4th place here, but it's a proper struggle in this division. And now we're going to take on Spezia, like I say, in the playoff first leg. Hope Spezia do something special. You can have that for free and knock us out. Honestly, like, I don't know what to do. There's nothing I can do. Let's go. Right, so here we go then. We've got the away leg first. Let's just get to the old holiday. Go on holiday for 1 day and see what happens. You know, if we end up like winning this one 3-4-0, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do, as I don't think we're ready. Let's have a quick look. And we end up drawing 1-1. This could be happening. This could be happening. You know, as we slowly start working our way to this second leg, I am panicking a little bit. And here we go then, home leg of our playoff final tie. Oh God, here we go. We could end up being in Serie A by the end of this. Go on holiday for one day. Let's go disco. Oh, this could be happening. This could really be happening, guys. Right, let's have a look then. So competitions wise, did we end up going through? This is the big thing. League table. We've been promoted. We've been promoted. Fixtures and results. We ended up winning 2-0. Adrezino with a goal on 3. Valenti on 50. That's probably not the elation that you're after. My days. Finances wise, has anything actually changed? I've got 4.8 million. That's not too bad. That's a surprise. But I'm only getting 15% of transfer revenue. Let's have a look at the news. Come on. Palermo win the Serie B playoff final. Guys, this was not meant to happen. This was not meant to happen. Not yet. And 3 seasons in, I've been promoted. Board set initial budgets. Need to do something straight away with that income and transfer revenue. So, right, we'll crack on with that now then. So, finances-wise, let's make... I'm not making any budget adjustments. I'm getting the best part of 35k to spend. But that's nothing. That is absolutely nothing. All my players will now be on 10 grand a week. Watch. Because they'll all have 30% promotion pay increases or something ridiculous like that. So I am done again. Increased percentage of transfer revenue being made available. And that is it. So guys, what an absolute shocker. Or what an absolute miracle. Whichever way you want to look at it. If you're a glass half full kind of person, which I usually am. I just think... I know the size of this task. It's going to be a colossus effort just to stay in Serie A with the team that we've got. But let's go back. Let's start at the beginning then. What we'd normally do is we'd have a look at the league table. So I finished in 4th place. Played 38, won 21, drew 10, lost 7, 85 goals scored, 45 conceded. Plus 39 goal difference, 73 points on the board. In all fairness, we were only 2 points away from automatic promotion when Venezia finished on 75. So in the grand scheme of things, we didn't do too bad at all. Competitions-wise overall, obviously we had that promotion and we were knocked out in the first round in the Coppa Italia by Sampdoria as per. Last 2 seasons that's happened to us. We've already seen the finances, so we'll look at the squad dynamics. Naturally it's all in the green. Team cohesion excellent. Club atmosphere and manager support is very good. I've got no issues. That surprised me. No player issues. 16 player supporters. 4 players have no real opinion of us. And social group-wise, we're all in the core social group banging. Squad-wise then, did any individual player drag me through? Yeah. Farofa, 36 goals this season, 35 in all competitions, 1 in the Coppa Italia, 7 assists in there as well. He's now valued at £1.3 million. Hopefully with the promotion he'll be valued at £5 million or something ridiculous like that. Assists wise, looking at this, Almisi, Salipo and Valente, all with decent assists in double figures. 15 for Emilcido and Salipo with 13. Then look at the player stats then. So we know Rodrigo Forfo was the highest goal scorer, but what was he like in the league? So let's have a look. Player overview. We've got the top goal scorer again, 35 goals. His tactic we're playing must be absolutely incredible to get the goals that we're getting. We've also got the most assists. Almisi with 15 and Salipo with 13, so they're the top 2. And then most player of the match awards, Forfo with 11. Quality. So there we go. He's also had the highest average rating of 7.34. Most assists which you've seen was Almisi with 15. Best pass completion was Marconi with 96%. Most player of the match awards was Farofa with 11. Most yellow cards, Oggia and Marconi with 20 apiece. And red cards, Marconi, Luperini and Rocca with 1 apiece. Then we have to have a look at the team stats. So goals scored, we scored 91 goals, which is the best. So that's 2 seasons on the trot. We've been the best in the league for goals scored. Goals conceded though, 9th worst, 49. Yellow cards wise, 140 yellow cards this season, which is the worst. And 3 red cards, which is the 10th worst. Our average attendance is the 3rd best at just over 13,000. But what are we going to do here? What are we going to do? No idea. So we're going to move forward. That's what we are going to do. We're going to move forward to the start of Season 4, where we try to do something in the Serie A. Right, so we're back then, guys, for the start of Season 4 in the Serie A. And before we move on, down in the description, I've linked the save from the 2nd or 3rd of July from this season, so you can give it a go yourself. You can see if for the next 2 seasons you can survive in the Serie A, or just this season, in fairness. It's going to be an absolute battle. Now, last season I said it was going to be a battle in Serie B. We have got no right being in this league. No right at all. We're not ready. When we look at like the wages and stuff, we'll have a look at the finances now. I'm spending over it. I might as well just adjust that. I don't even think it'll touch it. I'm still going to be overspending. So I'm spending 174k per week on wages. I've got no transfer budget. I was getting 30% of it. Overall balance is £5 million. I suppose that's not too bad. Debt and loan wise, nothing really. £4,000 transfer debt isn't even worth speaking about. Vision for the club this season is to be competitive in the Coppa Italia. What I can tell you about that straight away is we've already been knocked out of it. We were knocked out in the first round by Modena. Gone. I don't think I've ever got past the first round in the Coppa Italia. But yeah, not ideal. We're out of that competition already. We've only got the league to play for. I suppose my squad depth being as it is, which isn't very good when you look at my squad there. No scroll, no nothing. That is my squad. I've got suspensions, I've got unregistered players, I've got all sorts. So not ideal. But yeah, club vision wise, you know, I've got to fight bravely against relegation and then continue remaining in Serie A. I think that is a bit of a push, if I'm honest. Transfers wise then, I've had one player leave, Boubacar Marong. Now he was a non-EU player and I let him go to try and free up the space, and that has backfired in my face. I let him go on a free transfer to Juve Stabia so I could bring in Slobodan Teric on a free transfer. I brought him in from Manchester City, where he hasn't played a game in 2 seasons. He was out on loan at Pexwool a couple of seasons ago and he played 30 times, scored 10 goals. Highest earner at the club, getting 12.5 grand a week wages, and I cannot play him. I don't know why, like, I've freed it up. It says extra non-EU player who cannot be registered until I sell another EU player, which I've done, and it doesn't matter what I do when we go to the squad and I try and register. They're not having a bar of it, won't let me do anything. Look, I've still got the ability to change it, but I can't. If you know how to get around that, please drop it in the comments. But no, cannot do it. So yeah, brought this guy in. It's going to be absolutely incredible. 24-year-old. I almost done a backflip when I got him. I was like, this is the guy. This is the guy that's going to keep me in Serie A. And this has happened. So yeah, I'm not really going to talk too much more about him. We'll see him next season, hopefully. And if not, he's valued at 1.9 million. I'll just sell him for that. Other players coming in then is a 23-year-old Croat, Tony Fruck, joins us on a free transfer again from Fiorentina, where he was actually playing in Serie B last season with Pisa, played 27 times, 3 goals, 7 assists, decent player, playing as a central midfielder. I'm still going to go with that guy behind the striker. We can score plenty of goals. Yes, we're shocking defensively, but again, like we have in other seasons, we'll just push for not being in the relegation places. That's all I can ask for, really. Current ability 3.5 star, potential ability 4.5 star, 23-year-old. He's okay. Currently valued at 1.7 million. We'll see what he can do. Then the area that I haven't really strengthened in through this entire save in the goalkeeping department. So Axel Werner joins us for 600k from Elche. Now he played 39 times in the Liga 2 last season and conceded 45 goals, 9 clean sheets, 4 player of the match performances. Quality player for me. Really good upgrade in the goalkeeping department. 28-year-old, about to hit his prime, current ability 3.5 star, potential ability 4.5 star as well, invited up to 1.2 million. He's a nomadic goalkeeper, he gets about. I think his quality, you know, 6'4", aerial reach 17, jump and reach 18, reflex is 16, even that eccentricity is only 5. So hopefully, like I say, he's coming as my number 1. He does a decent job for us this season. Another player through the door then was Jose Gareja. Now, I've upset this guy already by not giving him the number that he wanted. He wanted number 6, and I've given him number 14. I think I promised him number 6 when he joined as well. And we bought him from Inter Milan for 750k. He played 1 time for him in 3 seasons. But again, it's just, you know, he can play as that defensive midfield role. In the midfield, though, first touch 14, passing 13, vision 13 as well. He's decent at 24-year-old and currently valued up to £2 million. He'll do a good job for us. And if I need to drop from that attacking midfield to the defensive anchor, this is my man. Now, trying to add a bit of width, I brought in Christian Rasmussen, 21-year-old Danish under-21 international with 18 caps, 2 goals. Current ability 3-star, potential ability 5-star, and he's currently valued up to £1.6 million. Now, I got him on a free transfer from Ajax. They spent £2.6 million, and we only played like 1 time for them. Not ideal. Odd on a couple of times here, but yeah, not ideal. But acceleration and pace 13, crossing and dribbling what I'm after first touch. We'll see what he can do again. You know, it's like every other season. I am literally taking a punt on a lot of these guys. I don't actually know them. I never even heard them. And there's a little bit of an unknown. But the one thing I will say is there is no real transfer value to these players. One, I buy them. You know, this guy I've brought in, Carlos, 26-year-old Portuguese player, plays out on that right-hand side, can play in all those right-hand side positions, in fairness. Currently valued at 800k. You know, what do you do with that? We got him from Udinese for 200k after he played 3 times in 2 seasons. But we are bringing in some Serie A players, yes. They're their fringe players, but I've got to make them first-team players for us and then try and moneyball it. Unless I can get some stability, because that is the problem. I'm letting like 50% of the team leave every season. Yes, Boubacar Marong is the only player that's officially left for money, but I've had a lot of free transfers go as well. So tactically then, how are we going to line up this season? Again, we're just going to go with that 4-2-3-1. With Werner in goal, Ray, Marconi, Rocca and Carlos at the back, with Gregera and Lou Perini in the midfield. And Tep, Andrezino and Rasmussen out wide. And then Farofa Hopefully he's going to get us double-figure goals this season. But yeah, that is how I'm lining up. Tiki-taka style on a positive mentality. I'm not going to go massively attacking. Dynamics-wise then, I've got players that want new deals, that can do one. And when we look at it here, 15 players support us, 5 players have no real opinion of us, and 1 player opposes us. That's obviously the broken promise from Gagera, because I didn't give him the number 6. Who has got the number 6? Andrezino. He can have it as well. So what's the expectation for this season then? As you can see, we're overwhelming favourites to be relegated. 1,000 to 1. Naturally, we've got no players in the Media Dream 11. Surprise, surprise. Schedule-wise then, how does that start? Inter Milan, Atalanta, Venezia, Udinese and Sampdoria. There are no easy teams in this league. You know, when we look at the Serie A, let's say maybe the teams that have been promoted with us, Venezia, maybe Verona in there. Who knows? Cagliari, there's teams that maybe we can get some points from. It's going to be mightily difficult, so let's get into it. You know, like I said, you've got the opportunity to play this season with us, so give it a go and let me know in the comments how you got on. Guys, we have survived. 29 points on the board, 17th place. Sampdoria, Verona, Salernitana, if that's, oh God, they've gone down and we've survived. We've got 29 points on the board. We've got worse goal difference than Verona and we've still managed to stay up. How has this happened? Rules-wise then. So league sorting rules then. Results between teams, goal difference, goals scored. Right, so schedule-wise then, where we are, here we go. So schedule-wise, opposition. Right, so Sampdoria 1-1. Both games draws there. Who else was the Verona? We beat them 2-1 away. Drew 0-0 with them at home. And who else went down? Salernitana. If that's how you pronounce it. We won them home and away, so we got some wins there. So we have literally, it's got to be goal difference, hasn't it? So goal difference like for like. We've beaten Sampdoria on goal difference. That's how we've ended up. I cannot believe it. So let's have a look. Then as we played 38 games, 6 wins all season, 11 draws though, 21 defeats, 44 goals scored, 77 conceded, which looks like it's the worst, and that does not surprise me. Minus 33 goal difference, 29 points on the board. This isn't going to be pretty when we look at the past positions. So as you can see, we've actually survived on the last day of the season. 2-2 draw with Roma. We've been down, what, in the final 4 places all season. That means Sampdoria dropped in. They were relegated on the last day of the season. Let's have a look at the fixtures, see what happened then. So there we go. A 94th minute goal from Rasmussen. Oh, 94th minute goal. As we're going to have a look at this one now, we're literally ticking away up to 94 minutes. Rasmussen there, and he has kept us. That's Jimmy Glass all over it, that is. Apart from obviously Jimmy Glass, the goalkeeper, but you get the meaning. Oh my days. We have stayed up on the flank. We've got no right. Absolutely no right. So we've already had a look at those bits. Competitions-wise, we're no overdue. We knocked out the Coppa Italia before the season had even started. Finances-wise, what they're giving us. As it stands, I've got that. I've got 85% of transfer revenue. Apparently, my next transfer budget should be 3.89 million. So I should have a little bit more. But overall balance, look at that there. That trajectory. £26 million. There should be no debt and loans now. £740 transfer debt. Squad dynamics wise, you know, it's a difficult one to have here. Team cohesion and managerial support is very good. Club atmosphere will be shocking because we've took a thumping all season. Anybody oppose us? No. I've got 15 players supporters, 5 players that have no real opinion of us. I genuinely cannot believe. A 94th minute goal, guys, has kept us in the league. Now, again, you know, you've had the opportunity to play out this season. If you've obviously got the save from the description, let me know again, you know, if you've survived, fair play to you. I'm sure there'll be one person in my comments who'll tell me that they've got European football next season. They've managed to get a top 7 finish, but I am absolutely buzzed. This one has been a bit of a shocker, hasn't it, really, as in what is going on. I've got no right being here. The team is absolutely awful in comparison to the rest of the teams in the league. We've managed to see Sampdoria relegated. We've managed to survive because of that. And there's a massive gap. An 8-point gap between us and Parma in 16th place. Next season, you know, the last season in charge for me, season 5, could potentially see us relegated or could potentially see us staying in the league again. Who knows? So finally then, let's have a look at those player stats. So top goal scorer was Farofa with 12. Highest average rating was Werner with a 6.98. That tells you how poorly that we've played. As my goalkeeper got a 6.98, was the highest average rating. Most assists, Luperini, Forfar and Rasmussen with 5 apiece. Best pass completion was Rocha with 94%. Most player of the match awards was Carlos with 4. Most yellow cards was Marconi with 18. And most red cards was Marconi, Pablo Rey, Roca and Gregera with 2 apiece. What about then team stats? We scored 44 goals, which is the 9th best, not bad, but we conceded 77, like I say, which is the worst. 161 yellow cards, which is the worst. Red cards wise, we had 8, which is the 2nd worst. Now, our average attendance was 16,000, which is 5th worst. Tactically, we've got to do something with this. Obviously, we're playing that tiki-taka. We're playing the 4-2-3-1. And it's done us proud to get us, you know, it's kept us in the league. But maybe something more defensively solid. I did have a copy of the last one, obviously, with that anchor there. But we might just play like a solid 4-4-2 or even a diamond. A diamond, bizarrely, obviously, even though it's really narrow, gets me out of trouble when we're playing like the lower league stuff. And yes, it's not necessarily lower league, but our team in comparison to everybody else in the league, maybe we just need to frustrate the opposition. So yeah, I'm going into my last transfer window, praying again that I can do a little bit more business to keep us in the league next season. Right then guys, so season 5, and this episode's obviously been an episode of miracles. Another miracle that was, I actually got £8 million to play with in this transfer window. What a war chest. I say that tongue in cheek, but you know, it's a lot more than what we've had all the way through this save. So, look at the finances. I've got just under £1 million left. I was getting 85% of transfer revenue. Obviously, none of my players are worth any money, so there was no point selling anybody on. Wage budget wise, I'm now up to £336,000 per week. I'm spending literally just under that. Overall balance is 25 million. We've took a little bit of a dent out of it, but not too much. Debt and loans wise, clear. As always, absolutely fine. Transfers wise, then players that have left. Usman Simbakoli, he has gone off to Lecce, obviously in the Serie A with us as well. He played 23 times for Potenza last season when he was out on loan, scored 9 goals there. Played 6 times, 1 goal for us when we were in Serie B, and he is gone. Pablo Rey, a player that we got in on free transfer. I like this guy, but he did not want to extend his contract with us. Last season, he played 26 times, 4 assists, 1 player to match performance. Shocking rating there, average rating of a 6.48. But we've let him go to Frosinone in Serie B. He's gone on a free transfer. Like I say, decent player for us, but he's gone. And then coming in, I got the opportunity to bring some more free transfers in, so I've brought in Salvatore Esposito. I'm sure this guy's Sebi Esposito's brother. Let's have a look. He is. So Sebastian Esposito, currently striker at Lazio, quality player. Currently valued at £30 million as well. But we've got his brother, obviously a better player. And we got him on a free transfer from Lazio, where last season he's actually on loan at Spal in Serie B, played 25 times, 1 goal, 5 assists. But this guy can play either at the base of a diamond. I'm not quite sure I'm going to go with the diamond at the minute, or in the midfield. Again, real all-rounded player, current ability 3.5 star, potential ability 4 star, valued at £5 million. I'm very happy with him in the squad. 24-year-old as well, plenty of time left for him, and is an Italian, and that's the thing, I want to bring more Italian players back into the squad. I also brought in an attacker midfield. This guy's quite versatile in the final third of the pitch. Abel Sabiri. 28-year-old Moroccan, currently valued up to 2.8 million, playing to his full potential, which is 3-star. An attacker midfielder by trade. Last season he played 37 times in Serie B for Ascoli. He didn't actually score a goal, but the season before he's prolific, scoring 19 goals. Now this guy's going to play behind a striker. Attributes-wise, very good. Set pieces, okay. Corners 12, but free kicks 16, long shots 15 as well. You know, he's going to have free reign to shoot, realistically playing in that position. That vision of 16 as well with passing 13. It'll be a real asset to the squad. And then I've brought in a 24-year-old American with 2 caps, Brian Reynolds, who's going to play out on that right-hand side, but can play as a left-back as well. Solid all-round player, current ability 3-star, potential ability 4-star, currently valued at 3.7 million. Balanced personality, and we got him on a free transfer from Roma. So he played 21 times actually at Spezia last season in Serie B. It's the story of the save, isn't it, really, that I'm getting loads of fringe players from these Serie A teams and trying to make them the best I possibly can. And he's another player that I think can do that for us. You know, I'm expecting a lot up and down the pitch. Physically, he's decent. Acceleration and pace, 13 and 14. Stamina, 13. Natural fitness, 13. So he'll do a job for us. Then I went and spent 250k on the 26-year-old Diogo Pinto. Now, he's a guy that can play realistically there, behind the striker. Another player, not great technically, dribbling, finishing, first touch, all decent. That composure 10 is a worry. Long shots 13 now, and that jumping reach of 6. You can see here, attacking and vision-wise, great. Don't ask him to do anything early, and definitely no defending. Now, we got him for 250k, like I say, from Sporting, when he played 6 times for them overall, that is it. But a decent depth option for us, 26-year-old, may play 15 times this season. Then I brought in a 26-year-old Kosovan, Arjanet Murik. Now, this guy was at Manchester City at one point, but has been all over the place. We got him from Manchester City for 475k. Didn't actually play a game in the Championship last season, but in the Premier League he played 7 times, conceded 13 goals. Hasn't been great for him, I'll be honest, but he's a depth option, and he's a very good goalkeeper to be a number 2. Then strengthened at the back, I've brought in Sebastiano Laperto. Now, 28-year-old Italian with decent technical attributes in the areas that I want. Heading 14, marking 13, tackling 13, strength 15 as well. Physically decent, but history-wise, we brought him in for 375k from Verona, where they spent 650k on him. He only played 9 times last season. I think Verona went down, didn't they? They were relegated, so yes, they actually got relegated to Serie B. I'm not worried, he's a decent option, and he's currently valued up to 1.5 million. Then I brought in a 28-year-old Frenchman, Maxime Leverbe. Again, decent attributes technically. Strength is quite similar to Lamberto, but we brought him in for £2 million this time round from Pisa. Played 38 times in the Serie B last season, 1 goal, 3 player to match performances, but he's a regular starter. And then finally, I spent £3 million bringing Lorenzo Luca back to the club. Now, we actually sold him on for £2 million just before I took over in the 2021 season. He's been quite decent in Serie B for them, and I've took a punt in. He was transfer listed. This guy in my other rebuilds that I've done can go for 40, 50 million pounds. So to get it for 3.2 million, I'm absolutely buzzing. Finishing 16, heading 17, obviously 6'7" as well. He's a tall lad, jump and reach 18, strength 16. I'm expecting at least if he can get me off 15 goals this season, he could be the player that keeps us in Serie A this season. So tactics-wise, like I say, I'm probably going to set up exactly the same, playing that tiki-taka, that 4-2-3-1 that I've used all the way through. But I've also got the option now set in to play a narrow diamond. Now, with this formation, I'm going to play a counter-attack, and that's probably the way I should have been going, a counter-attacker style, because we're inferior to everybody else in the league, so maybe that was the way to go. But I'm not going to. I'm going to persevere with this tactic. So I'm going Werner in goal, Reynolds, Laperto, Leverbe, and I'll meet you at the back with Gregera and Esposito in the middle, Pinto, Sabiri, and Adrezino out wide, with Luca up front. What a team that is. It's much improved. You know, what a difference having some money makes. Squad dynamics wise and team cohesion, club atmosphere is average. My geo support is very good. Couple of unhappy players, but nothing to worry about there. I've got 18 players as supporters, 7 players that have no real opinion of us. Core social groups, Esposito's the only player that's not in any social group whatsoever. And then when we look at the competitions, we've got the Serie A and the Coppa Italia. Can we get past the first round this time? We've got Perugia, so maybe. Looking at the Serie A then, what is the expectation? So I'm expected to finish bottom of the league again, 1,000 to 1. Nothing has changed then. I've got no players in the Media Dream 11. Can you believe that? Shocking stuff. Schedule-wise, then, to finish, we start off with games against Torino, Atalanta, Bologna, Lecce and Brescia. So they're my 5 games. Opportunity there, Bologna, Lecce and Brescia, the 3 teams that we maybe get points off. Who was the expectation to finish bottom of the league again? Ourselves, Empoli and Brescia. So there's an opportunity for points. Benevento have been promoted again as well, so let's just go for it this season. Why not? Let's push it, see what we can do, and hopefully finish a little bit further away from the relegation zone. Right, so the season's over then, guys, and we got a 15th place finish. We've managed to survive with 43 points on the board. You know, we're well clear at 18th place as well. 13 points clear in the end. We ended up being 6 points clear of Parma in 16th place. So when we look at this league table, though, you can see it in all its glory. 38 games played, 11 wins, 10 draws, 17 defeats. 60 goals scored, 79 conceded. That could be the highest again now. Empoli with 82, so probably the second highest goals conceded. We haven't been good for that all the way through. Defensively, we've been horrific. Minus 19 goal difference, 43 points on the board. 1 win in our last 5 games as well. Not ideal, but it's enough to keep us up. Past positions wise, then, we have been mincing about. At one point, though, we're all the way up in 11th place. We drew 0-0 with Sassuolo. Then we were beaten 5-2 by Inter Milan, and then beaten 3-1 by Lazio. So yes, not ideal at the end there. Competitions wise, you know, we've just seen it. We got a 15th place finish, and surprise, surprise, we were knocked out by Sampdoria in the Coppa Italia. Is that 3-4 seasons now? I think that's 3 or 4 seasons Sampdoria have done us. Finances wise, how we're looking in. So this next coming season, we're going to get £12 million transfer budget, 85% of transfer revenues being made available, and that wage budget is now up to 431k. Overall balance 36 million, debt and loan wise, no debt and loan, so we leave the club as we found it. Squad dynamics wise, team cohesion is good. Club atmosphere though is shocking, very poor, and managerial support is excellent. I've got plenty of players that want to leave and want new deals and whatever else is going on there. Team leaders wise, I've got 3 team leaders. I've got 24 players as supporters. 1 player has no real opinion of us. Social group wise, they're either in the core or secondary social group, so we're in a decent place as a collective as well. Player stats wise then, Lorenzo Luca, the guy that I brought in to get me goals, got me 20 goals this season. 18 in the league. Not bad going. Actually, I'm just going to see if I'd laugh. See where that would have put him. So he actually broke into the top 10 goal scorers and finished in 4th place. Only 2 goals behind Adeyemi and Leo. Immobile, though, is a quality player. He's finished 7 goals clear. He also had the highest average rating at 7.19. Most assists, Diogo Pinto had 10. Best pass completion, Laporta with 96%. Most player of match awards was Luca and Pinto with 4 apiece. Most yellow cards was Carlos with 13. And most red cards was Gregera and Sabiri with 1 apiece. Team stats wise though, we scored 60 goals, which is the 5th best. In Serie A, the 5th high scoring team. Goals conceded though, 79, which is the 2nd worst. Yellow cards wise, 75, which is the 8th worst. We did have a season where we had like 140 odd yellow cards, so 75 not bad at all. Red cards 2, which is the 10th worst. And average attendance is now up to 17,000. But for me, let's have a look at the overall history then. So the milestones first of all, I was hired as the Palermo manager in 2021. In the first season in charge, we finished 2nd in Serie C and we won the Coppa Italia di Serie C Cup. And then in 2024, we were promoted via the playoffs from Serie B to Serie A. Should never have happened, but it did. As far as the overview goes, and I brought in 27 players for a total value of 7.75 million. And that's basically happened in the last season. I think I spent 25k in the first 4 seasons. Players sold 11 for 3.7 million. As you can see here, my highest fee spent was 3.2 million on Lorenzo Luca. And my highest fee received was Ferrari with 3.2. How did he get on in the end? So he's at Sampdoria, but he left us for Udinese and they bought him for 4.3 million. So this guy looks like a real talent. He's developed nicely, 25-year-old now. Not being capped by Holland, but never mind. But yeah, overall a good rebuild. I think it's the only rebuild I've ever done, and a rebuild that I will remember for the fact that I was so unhappy when we got promoted. We had no right being in Serie A and we ended up being there. We've managed to survive, but don't forget, obviously I give you the opportunity from Season 4 to play the game along with us. That is available down in the description. If you haven't done it already, give it a go. And please let me know in the comments. But like I said at the start of the video, if you are new to the channel, please like and subscribe. You know, if you've got this far and you've watched the best part of an hour of a video, you should already be subscribed anyway, shouldn't you? Let's be honest. But yes, thank you very much for watching. Stay safe, and I'll catch you later when we're going to do the Palmeiras rebuild. That's the next one, the one from Brazil, the one I finished in 2nd place. Let's give that one a go as well. So yes, thanks for watching, stay safe, and I'll catch you later. Ta-ra.